Duality, Tales for the Silent One, Chapter 3.
I'm pretty much aware of what happened at the castle. Tell me something that isn't common knowledge.
Very well. I will try my best.
But you were resting, Isla. Is it okay to start again so soon?
Oh, will you stop whining, Green One?
My name's Klein.
I like my name better. Go on. You were saying, Isla?
The vampiric court has a good understanding of Driscoll, High Cleric Blackheath, and the spider deity's actions. However, the young cleric's story has been shrouded in vagaries and misdirection at the Wizard Council's request. It is not sensitive information, but they feel they would rather keep Oliver's part in the story very much in the background. The young cleric seemed to cling onto his past, despite every attempt to make him forget. He was often lost in his old memories when he meditated under the High Cleric's tutelage.
And that's how we celebrate the dawn of a new year in my country.
It sounds very chaotic.
Oh, that's definitely the right word for it. But it's fun, and it's quite rare for wizards to meet in big groups. A lot of people my age are still on their mystic pilgrimage.
I see. So, out of all the places you've been to, where was your absolute favourite?
Oh, if I have to choose, I'll say Sahari. It's such a mysterious place, and their light festival is one of the most stunning things I've ever seen.
Where does Flowerberry Forest rank on your list of incredible places?
Well, I suppose the flora and fauna alone put it in the top 5. But I don't really like favourites. Everywhere has a certain charm about it.
You're far too diplomatic, you know. I realise some of the local folk are a little narrow-minded. I bet they make things hard for you.
Oh no, the local folk aren't the problem at all. Everyone is very friendly indeed. I have no complaints.
Bless you, Oliver. You're so kind. But aren't you nervous about going to Evergreen Castle? It sounds dangerous.
I'll admit I'm a little apprehensive, but I'm confident that things will be all right. My wisest wizard tutor told me that optimism was his most valuable magic, so I decided to adopt an optimistic outlook too. And it hasn't steered me wrong thus far.
Cleric, you seemed distracted. Is something the matter?
Oh, no. I had a hazy recollection of something, but it slipped my mind.
I mentioned this earlier, but High Cleric Blackheath had completely transformed the underground of the castle into a place of worship to the spider deity. The outer chamber was also filled with holy symbols, items to focus the mind on worship and prayer. Incense filled the air. Incense that had unique, mystical properties.
Huh. So the wizard snapped out of it sometimes. I didn't know that. I guess he was a powerful wizard after all. I mean, some cleric trainees don't even survive the initiation ceremony, never mind prayer time. Still, shame he's gone.
But the young cleric is still alive, is he not?
Nah, the wizard part of his soul vanished a little while ago.
Well, now I've heard everything. What kind of magic can do that?
None. It's kind of impossible, which is probably why the Wizard Council doesn't want to talk about it.
This is news to me. Even as a seer, I didn't know this.
Yeah, he's advising Count Angelus now. He was Helmric's fledgling, so it makes sense that he ended up with his dad. Count Angelus is the only one left in that bloodline, you know.
But Oliver was a cleric. I thought the Count would have wanted him to remain one of the faithful. Perhaps have another deity care for him.
Well, no other deity would want one of Iris' clerics. She messes them up, you know.
I don't pretend to know such things. But speaking of Count Angelus, perhaps we should discuss his son, Helmric. Many accounts of Helmric describe a stoic and cruel man. However, that is what he was trained to be. He was far more vulnerable, and some may even say gentle.
Others would say weak.
He was part human. They're Very sensitive creatures, aren't they?
So rumor has it. I haven't met one. Count Helmric's life in the castle would have been agonizing. Driscoll pushed Helmric to imitate his father, Angelus, in every way. The other denizens of the castle didn't think much better of him. High Cleric Blackheath despised Count Helmric, and the thoughts of the deity have never been revealed. Still, one of Count Helmric's only pleasures in the castle was reading. Due to being surrounded by Fey culture in the Evergreen Castle, he had developed a questionable interest in them.
Questionable? That's a nice way of saying disgusting.
Isla, are you telling me that Count Helmric actually liked the Fae?
There is no need to tell you when I can show you. In the beautifully lavish and mostly untouched Evergreen Library, Count Helmric often wandered the perfectly kept halls, reading books he had read 100 times before. Yet, perchance, he discovered a book that the young cleric discarded earlier that evening. It struck a chord with the young count, and he reminisced.
Oh, this book. I haven't read this for, well, quite a while. I do find these little fairy tales intriguing.
A fair-haired prince with sky-blue eyes rides his noble steed with a blessed lance in hand to strike down the wicked creature of the dark and save the golden-haired princess. Once the chase is over, she and he will be happily wed, and...
Your masochism unnerves me.
Oh, High Cleric Blackheath, have I done something that would upset the deities? If so,
No, it is the injuries you do unto yourself that trouble me.
Oh? What injuries are those?
You fixate on things you cannot ever hope to have. Such stories weren't written with you in mind. Your obsession with happy endings only drives you into deeper despair. Still, I found the book I came for. I suggest you cease reading such drivel and focus on controlling those untamed powers of yours regarding the mind and its inner mechanics. Good evening, Count.
Good evening, High Cleric. May the great deity bless you.
I should not enjoy these books as I do. And yet, I cannot help but hope that I too can find a happy ending.
Well, that's ever so sad. I'm sure Helmric's father would be furious if he found out his son liked fairy tales.
Yeah, I don't think he'll really care. I mean, Helmric's dead now. Besides, Count Angelus is a pretty volatile guy. Even I wouldn't want to be on his bad side.
Helmric inherited his father's short-temperedness and found it difficult to control his emotions. One such event in the castle caused him to accidentally lose his composure in front of the young cleric.
Huh. He did? Did the cleric annoy him or something?
No, Driscoll caused trouble on purpose. He did everything he could to destroy any bond between them with science, trickery, and manipulation.
Yeah, it's funny. Angelus never really talked much about him.
Driscoll often posed as a simple-minded servant, but nothing could be further from the truth. He was a genius in many ways, but mentally unstable. His unwavering commitment to Angelus caused a hot and cold relationship to form between himself and Helmric. When Helmric did anything that was atypical of his father, Driscoll would shout, scream, and berate him. When he acted just like his father, he would become unnaturally attentive and doting. The young cleric and Helmric's first and final meeting demonstrated just how wicked this manservant could be.